New D4 blog just dropped. It is the developer update for the closed-end game beta draws near. Is the headline. Um, what does it mean by closed-end beta? Maybe they'll explain in the.
It's just endgame systems.
Oh,
No,
oh,
no
closed
campaign.
end
Yeah,
game. Okay,
no,
end game.
no
Okay,
campaign spoilers at all. They're literally putting you so far into the end game. The only thing you can test is the end game,
that's cool. That's kind of
and
what I
and
wanted to test,
and
anyways.
just the couple systems. Like you won't be able to interact with anything outside of the only zones that will be open will be the systems.
Okay, so in my defense, it was due to the way that the line broke upon the article, where it says close end and then the line breaks to go to game beta. So
Mhm.
I didn't parse that correctly. It's an end game beta, and it's also closed, meaning you can't stream it,
Yep,
I
it's
assume.
complete NDA.
Also, probably you won't be able to. Well, it's probably not NDA because I doubt
No,
they'll get
it
you to
isn't. It
sign it.
is NDA.
Oh,
They
well,
say it in the
maybe we'll
video.
get
They
to
say
that in
this
the
is
article.
this is not in the article. I'm pretty sure it's just in the video.
Well, we're not gonna watch the video, so
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, it's full NDA, so you can't even tell people if you got invited.
interesting. Well, I didn't get invited, and I'm gonna keep saying I didn't get invited even once I get invited. Easy. At the 2022 Xbox Games Showcase, we foretold Lilith, the Blessed Mother's return. As we march forward toward releasing Diablo 4 in 2023, they're giving me cryptic messages here, Egg. They're gonna release the game in March. That's why they use this language here. I see what they're putting down. If they don't release the game in March, we riot.
Hmm. Well, later on, they're going to tell you that the game's not releasing in March, so
Well, I've already got my hopes up.
well, prepare to throw them down.
Okay, well, sussy. We've reached a momentous milestone, allowing community members to participate in testing early versions of the game and provide feedback. Our closed indie game beta will be the first of a few opportunities for select players to experience some of what Diablo 4 has to offer. See, I don't like this language. Like, we aren't doing the beta to experience what Diablo 4 has to offer. That's what the game is for. The reason you would go into a beta is so that you could like test
I
stuff
mean, it's
and
also to
give
give feedback.
feedback.
It's also to give feedback if the systems are enjoyable. So, just because they
Yeah,
work doesn't mean they're enjoyable.
I
You're,
just
you're just it's betas are giving people a chance to experience the game. So,
yeah, but I feel like that's the incorrect use of beta, where the beta is just like a marketing tool of like the game is pretty much done, but we
that's
need
Blizzard's
to.
betas.
Yeah, I understand that it's Blizzard's betas, but it would be nice if we could actually get in and test stuff that was actually going to be changed. But we'll see. Maybe this will be something that they take feedback on. But
I mean,
players will be invited to test Diablo 4's robust in-game offerings using specific gameplay data. Additional details explaining what types of players are being invited and how invites will be sent out are communicated later in this blog. I mean, sure. I mean, this is the exact thing that I want, is the ability to see what the end game is like.
about the
If it's
hoopla.
if it's closed though, I guess I'll actually have to get into it unless
I mean,
somebody
they.
breaks their NDA.
I mean, they say that there's going to be multiple following in early next year. So
Okay.
this one's probably
Well,
going to be a November through December one, and I guarantee there's going to be like as soon as February there'll be another one that's open. I mean,
hmm.
I'm pretty sure the game's aiming to release in summer of next year.
Well, they said March, so
Hmm.
they march forward.
I mean, it'll probably be an open beta in March, maybe a big one.
Maybe. The closed beta will be confidential, meaning players
Oh,
invited
they
will
did
be
say it.
unable to publicly talk about or share their gameplay experience. Additionally, the closed in-game beta will be playable on PC and Xbox Series X stroke S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4 consoles.
That means it's
The
gonna. That means the
Xbox
game's
has,
engine's outdated though. If it's compatible with Xbox 4, Xbox X, Xbox One. I mean, and PlayStation 4.
yeah, that doesn't bode well.
Probably stop supporting those versions though really quickly. I would assume.
Probably.
Just like the Xbox 360 version of Diablo 3 got stopped getting supported like many years ago.
There's precedence for games to drop consoles as they move forward in their development. Anywho, crossplay and cross progress for all platforms will also be supported. That's interesting.
Yeah, the game's gonna
That
play
you'll
the
be
same
able to,
on. The game's gonna play the same on both, which is pretty
yeah,
standard. Which is pretty standard nowadays. The way Diablo 3 was ported is not normal anymore.
yeah. But it does, I think, mean that we're going to have a lot of concessions for console in the PC game.
No,
That's usually what that means.
I don't know. Lost Ark is fully supports all console controls, and it's not on consoles, but like games can just support the console features really easily. Now, if they're made in PC first, they're easy to go back and forth.
All games are made in PC
Yeah,
first.
but they're
You don't
not.
develop
Well,
on it.
yeah, but some games are developed for console first and hard to port to PC. If
Sure.
Diablo 4 is made for PC and ported to console, it'll be way easier to just have everything smoothly transition.
Hopefully. When is it coming to my phone? Rage?
It's already out. Came out in June.
Okay. For a quick look at what's to come during the Diablo 4 closed-end beta, watch the video below. This is the video below in the article, not your current video that you're watching. Below from game director Joe Shelley and franchise general manager Rod Ferguson. I guess we'll link the article in the video when this becomes a YouTuber. Right. We have decided to focus the closed beta on Diablo 4's endgame offerings. See, so this is, you can't, if you're listening to my voice and not reading the article, you don't know this. But here they finally hyphenate endgame. It's end hyphen game, which I think is the proper way to do things. When you're combining two nouns in order to be like an adjective, you combine them with a hyphen, and that would have made things a lot clearer earlier. They should have done this throughout the article. Is either make end game one word or combine it with a hyphen, but that's more grammar. There's a few reasons they've decided to focus on the end game. The full story of Lilith's return to Sanctuary is not something we would like to spoil prior to release. Players will experience a post-campaign Sanctuary during the closed endgame beta. I mean, that can still have the potential to spoil things, but I don't really care that much about spoilers, so whatever. Also, for many, the endgame is their favorite aspect of Diablo.
They understand. Holy moly. GGG, take notes.
I mean, GGG understands that too. They just have a different vision.
No, they
for what
don't. They don't fucking understand it.
It's just one people.
They don't
think people's favorite
yep.
part is running the campaign.
Yep. Chris
over and
Wilson's
over.
favorite part is fucking killing Hillock on the coast.
That is the most balanced. We want to ensure it feels satisfying, and with no shortage of challenging variety to experience across many, many demon-slaying gaming sessions. I mean, we're going to have to see what all the systems are. Focusing on variety, I think, can be a folly.
They literally tell you write down later in like 2 lines.
Okay, well, I'll keep reading then. To achieve this, we're collecting community feedback early so that it may be integrated into Diablo 4 prior to launch. Players who are selected to participate in the closed in-game beta will have the ability to provide feedback between bouts of cutting down demons through an in-game feedback tool. Yeah, because they can't stream it, right? So they can't like get any.
I think it's really good though. They say that like
just all in game.
like it's very good though. They acknowledge that like they state the reasons why they're having these systems be explicitly available is to give in-game direct feedback, and hopefully it being directly in-game through a tool will allow them to, you know, actually get the feedback.
Yeah, I think it would be nice if we could make it would be nice if we could make some sort of like private video or like a Snapchat and just send it to the devs directly, because just through like
I mean,
written
can't you
feedback, I think
can't you
that
record
limits-
it and send it to them if you only send it to them?
I guess, but like they would have to have a vehicle for receiving that, like a forum or something, which they might have.
No more Bridge H. No, we're gonna get right back to we'll be right back on Diablo after our
People
team's
are
ready.
eating.
Yeah.
Alright, now, here's a rundown of the in-game offerings included in the closed in-game beta. Helltide,
Sounds cool.
Nightmare Dungeons, Whispers of the Dead, Fields of Hatred, and Paragon boards. Interesting that they think of the boards as a...
Because of what they're gonna. It's because of what they're gonna do. When you read the.
Do they go in? Okay, they do go in and explain what all these things
Yeah.
are. Okay.
We get info, not just the title.
I was gonna just speculate on the title, unfortunately. Take stock of the skills and knowledge you cultivate from playing through these features. You'll need every tool at your disposal to defeat the closed in-game beta's boss. That sounds cool. Like there might be some sort of like event boss at the end. I'm grind some Paragon. Helltide, which we're going to be calling Hail Tide from now on. Alabama viewers in the chat. While roaming Sanctuary on foot or atop your trusty steed, be aware of your surroundings, for you might find yourself caught in a hail tide. That's where a bunch of Alabama football fans jump out, and then it's actually, see, Egg doesn't understand this.
Yeah.
I'm mixing two, so it's Roll Tide is Alabama, and it's Hail State is for Mississippi State. So saying it's, you see, it's mixed. You see how that would...
Let's just call it Helltide.
Let's just call it Helltide. This is a new region-wide event that becomes available to heroes only once they have reached World Tier 3, Nightmare difficulty. In a Helltide, the servants of Lilith are empowered, having their difficulty increased, but dropping loot worthy of the danger. Her mightiest minions are also out in greater force, and the very ground of Sanctuary as you know it has been morphed by the surge of demonic activity. So, well, I'll finish reading and then we'll...
Well, we can do Helltide first. We'll talk about Helltide first.
Well, no, I'm not finished with Helltide. As you call them monstrosities inhabiting the Helltide, they'll potentially drop cinders, a new currency that can be spent to open Helltide chests. And you could swipe to get more, right? Can I swipe to get more cinders? Scattered throughout the respective region. These chests boast bountiful boons, exclusive to a singular item slot, such as torso, legs, or two-handed weapon. But be wary of hoarding your cinders, should you fall in battle. They'll drop and must be reclaimed.
E2 mechanic.
Are these Helltides going to occur in a PvP zone? Doesn't sound like
they
it.
tell you that later. They tell you what PvP zone has its own mechanic.
Yeah, so this won't be like the Helltide.
The PV, I'm gonna give you a spoiler. The PvE zone is more punishing than the PvP zone. Figure out why.
Nice. Okay.
It's also this mechanic is open world and sounds pog as shit. Just saying.
So these bountiful boons to a singular item slot. It sounds like they're putting certain
things behind, certain specific
certain
legendaries, and,
which sounds good. I like that.
It's not just certain activities. It's just different regions of Helltide drop a different. So maybe you've gotten the Act 1 Helltide loot item, but you don't need it. But you need it's basically bounties. It sounds like a bounty cache.
The Ring of Royal Grandeur comes from the Act 1 Helltide.
Yeah.
And Illubrute comes from the Act 2 Helltide.
Yep. And you don't even have to do the Helltide actively. You could just see that the zone's opened up, and if you have some cinders, just run around looking for the chests, which seems like
Yeah,
which sounds really cool to me. If you've
it
already,
does seem like you can just grind up a bunch. Like, let's say you already have your loot from your Act 1 Helltide, you're
yeah,
still behooved to go do it because then you can get the cinders to then when the Act 2 one shows up. It also sounds like you won't be able to do these at any time. You're only going to be able to do these when they pop, which I'm not super excited about.
it
But
sounds like Bounty Hour. It's to be.
yeah, but bounty hour where it you won't be able to do the bounties at all if it's not the hour. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
Yep. Depends on how the overworld fluctuates.
Yeah.
There's channel systems and things like that.
Yeah, if there's channel systems to where you can realistically get into a hell tide of any act at any time, I think that's fine. But restricting, like, if you need that item, but the hell tide's not up for it, that would feel pretty bad. Alright, Nightmare Dungeons. We've crafted a difficulty of Diablo's dungeons straight out of your nightmares. No, really. Nightmare difficulty dungeons in Diablo 4 unlock upon locating your first Nightmare Sigil. Each sigil corresponds to a specific dungeon somewhere within Sanctuary. This sounds like Mythic Plus. These sigils will add special modifiers to their dungeon,
Got it.
increasing the ferocity of the Hell Servants waiting for you inside and providing higher rarity loot. Through completing Nightmare Dungeons, you will recover even more powerful sigils, introducing increasingly death-defying modifications and challenges for you to overcome. As you progress into higher and more challenging world tiers, new Nightmare Dungeons will become available for you to explore. This sounds like Mythic Plus Dungeons.
Yeah, it
A
is.
good mechanic.
Mythic Plus dungeons are a better ARPG mechanic than they are in WoW, so
Yeah.
I really like it. Nightmare Dungeon sounds good. They've already told us about that one before, though.
hmm This idea of locking stuff behind world tiers, I don't know how you unlock world tiers. That sounds maybe a bit cringe. I don't like the idea of you must be this strength to enter. I think they should just allow you to enter things and get bopped if you're not strong enough. But
I think it's no here, no there. I think some people get
I could
frustrated
also
when they
see
enter
like
something and they can't clear it, and they obviously shouldn't have. I think it's better to just tell somebody they can't enter it until have reached a certain power level. Especially because after you learn that once, it's no longer frustrating. Like, it's not frustrating either way once you understand, but I think it's can be more frustrating and you cannot understand what's going on if you can just enter something and it's because it's not locked. For a big casual boy though, that's like omega casual frustration.
I think of torment systems in Diablo and like nothing stops you once you hit level 70 of just bumping the torment up all the way, even though you're not ready for it.
Yeah,
And like, is it better to just gate you from unlocking torments behind like having a six? Like the problem to me becomes then in order to gate off these like torment levels, let's say, it requires this like rigidly defined power progression where you can know how powerful you are in relation to the content. And I think that is what I have more of an issue with. I don't necessarily have an issue with them gating off content. I have an issue with how they measure your ability to get past the gate. But it could turn out fine. It might be smoother. Because like in Lost Ark, for instance, I don't like that you must be this item level to enter. I think that item level is good in some ways, but in uh, feeling like you were uh, have like meaningful control over your characters, or not
also
necessarily
it could just be
control,
that
but
these world tiers are locked behind. Have you done the hardest dungeon on the previous tier?
maybe. Yeah, we don't know how the world tiers unlock, so I'll withhold judgment. But again, we don't know how the world tiers unlock, so I'll speculate that they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up. Whispers of the Dead. The Tree of Whispers has a few loose ends to tie and needs your help settling the score. Displayed on your map, players will see various whispers scattered throughout Sanctuary. Complete the associated task and be met with experience, gold, and grim favors.
We're getting to know pretty
Interesting.
early on that they've got quite a few currencies planned, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. I think that
I think it shows that they intend to keep these system to have multiple running systems. So
yeah, I think you can run into an issue of currency bloat, but
we're not at PoE. We're not
uh
anywhere close to PoE levels, so we're fine.
yeah, but PoE doesn't have the reason that PoE's currency bloat is like somewhat manageable is that you get their myriad of currencies from pretty much every activity. Some give better than others, but like you're not restricted to getting exalts from
You only get
heist,
expedition
even
currency
though
from
kind of you
expedition.
are. Yeah, and you can only get soul fight from uh
Azurite.
maps, and you can only get it from maps? You might be able to get it from like the lake now.
Hmm.
But like you can only get what is another but like most of the currency, like transmutes, regrets, fusings, like most of the currency you get from pretty much any activity. Um Having like each activity be its own little specialized currency, I think can go a little bit too far, but also having each activity have its own currency gives a reason to do it. There's benefits and downsides. Because like the downside is that you if you only want one thing, you just don't do any of the other activities, and then if you only want um if you do any of the other activities and you don't accrue enough of their stuff, then kind of you feel you need to finish off your cinders to get your next reward of cinders, and you won't do anything else until you do that, or like you won't do any other except for the Whispers of the Dead until you finish off that thing. But having their own currency can be good as well. The number of grim favors you receive from completing a whisper varies, but once you've collected 10 grim favors from the dearly departed, they can be exchanged at the Tree of Whispers for a bevy of loot and experience to reward your heroics. This sounds like world quests.
Yeah.
The types of whispers a player sees on their map rotate frequently, with new ones becoming available throughout the day for you to track. Each whisper will offer both a different set of rewards and experience for completing it. Traditionally, the Whispers of the Dead system does not become available for players until after completing a specific chapter of the main quest line. For the closed beta, players will be able to engage with this system right out of the gate.
It's
This
interesting that
is
it's locked behind something. I think that probably be a cool campaign quest or something.
yeah. If it's part of like the main,
The main epilogue. I'm assuming it's a main epilogue thing that unlocks this, but
this also seems fairly repeatable. So like, Helltide might not be repeatable. It depends on how frequently they spawn. Like, can you go from one Helltide to the next Helltide to the next Helltide? Is there always a Helltide active?
Mhm.
Nightmare dungeons seem very repeatable. Um, we'll see if they're worth repeating. Whispers of the Dead seem pretty repeatable.
I think it's
From
pretty implied that everything in the game is going to just drop loot anyway, but these activities will specifically drop like unique loot.
sure, well, actually, they didn't say anything about having unique stuff behind the Whispers of the Dead. It
Yeah,
just said that you'll get a bevy of loot and
you get a
experience.
currency.
Sure, but once you accrue that currency, you turn it into the tree and it gives you a bevy of loot and experience to reward your heroics. So it didn't say that there's a specific unique behind the tree,
Yeah, it just sounds like
although
dailies.
there could be. Well, it sounds like world quest, but world quest that you can farm. I imagine there's going to be something where like your first 3 turn-ins to the tree are like boosted. Um
And then after
I
that, you're
really
kind of
hope
completing it because you're completing it. It
Yeah, I
sounds like
really hope that
there's a
the
good
grim
chunk
favors are not capped. I hope that they can.
there.
I hope we can hold way more than just 10 grim favors.
Sounds like there's a good chunk of overworld emphasis, which I think is actually really cool considering it's supposed to be pretty MMO open world. I'm liking it. I liked what I read. I like what we're reading. To me, at least, I think Diablo suits a way more open environment.
So like they said that different whispers reward different amounts. So
Mhm.
like there's probably a threshold where like if the good whisper, like you'll probably have a tier of good whispers. If those are active, you go out and do those. Otherwise, you probably don't bother with it, is what I imagine it'll break down to. All right, we're moving on. We're almost done. Fields of Hatred. I imagine this is the PvP one.
Yeah,
Born from their contempt of mortals, Mephisto has cursed specific areas of sanctuary, transforming them into deadly fields of hatred. These designated PvP zones are the proving grounds for players looking to bring renown to their name through blood and zeal.
big PvP.
While inside the fields of hatred, players can dispatch demons to collect seeds of hatred. To make use of these seeds, you'll need to bring them to the altar of extraction. It's a helicopter, where they can be smashed into red dust. Be quick to convert your seeds of hatred to red dust. They are the desire of other players lurking in the zone, and if they are skilled enough to overtake you in combat, your seeds of hatred will be dropped. Going through the trouble of transforming seeds of hatred into red dust does have its merits. Red dust will not be lost if you are felled. It can also be spent at the PvP cosmetic and mount vendors for ornamental rewards.
It doesn't
Will
give
you be
power.
able to forge a name for yourself in these tainted lands?
Doesn't give character
Yeah,
power. Just
sounds like we're never entering a field of hatred.
sounds like I'm farming
But
that shit for cosmetics. I love. I think that's the perfect way to get people into PvP is to give them cosmetics.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll do nasty things if it means I get cosmetics. I wouldn't mind.
Also, it's real. I think it's a really cool part of the system that before you complete the transmutation, you can drop your things, but after you can't lose them. I think that's very good.
yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
Also, it says you get it from killing demons in the zone, not just
Yeah.
players. So
Well, I
it's not.
mean, you kill the players to get their accumulated seeds.
Yeah, or you can just not PvP if there's nobody bugging you, right?
Yeah, true. But like, I don't
It
believe in the
means
goodness
if you're
of
a
humanity
means
that
it means
much.
if you're a 2 a.m. camper, dude, you might just be able to farm your PvP shit easy.
True. Also, if you're in the closed beta and there's not many people playing, you can probably get all your shit.
Mm-hmm. 35 Wizrun? I'll answer that in just a second, Custer.
All right, we're on the final system. Paragon boards. Upon reaching level 50, the Paragon boards, an end-game character growth system designed to empower your hero, unlocks. As your hero earns experience, they will receive Paragon points. These points can be spent to unlock new tiles, sockets, and even additional Paragon boards to further customize your hero and ascend to new heights of power.
Yep, Pog.
For more in-depth look at Paragon board systems, check out our Diablo 4 quarterly update December 2021 blog. That was last year. We went over this on stream. I don't think we made a video on it, but uh,
Oop, I click before you
just a
Whoops.
quick overview of the Paragon board stuff. At least my opinion on it is that it looks really good. It looks like
Yeah.
we don't know specifics on it, but the idea of it seems really
I
good.
like the
Like a
customization.
much
I like the.
a
I
much better Paragon system
also the
than
max
what we
level in the
have
game is
currently.
confirmed to be 50.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I'm
All right.
I'm thinking that level will go up later.
Potentially as like expansions drop.
Yep. It'll be
I can see
70 by
that.
some point. I don't
Just
think
like
it'll
it
go
went
past.
from 50 to
I don't.
60 to 70
I,
here.
yeah.
So our the last stuff in the article is who will be invited, and it goes into how to make yourself available for the update. You can go in. It has pictures and stuff.
I will just say
So
this here. You're gonna want to do this link. If you are interested in signing up, scroll down to the bottom of that and follow their instructions. Verbally describing them is not going to be to your benefit. Just
yeah,
go read it. Go read the end of the post. We talked about everything. Scroll down if you want to see how to sign up. And other than that, it all looks fucking pog. Actually, I thought they were going to say something in there that was going to make me like be like, oh no, this could go bad. But like, I almost have nothing to say on the oh no, this could go bad part. So
Yeah, it looks really
it
good.
looks really promising. And in their video, they talk about there being another system, but they don't list it out. Because they list it last. I'm assuming that it's something that's brand new, and they're like, it might be the newest in-game system that they're thinking about adding. So sounds pretty cool.